Hello and welcome to episode 45 of Unemployed to Unstoppable. Millwall really making some inroads in the league, and there's a lot of transfers to catch up on because we're in the January transfer window, and we've also got a Carabao Cup semi-final against Liverpool, so a lot to unpack. Stay tuned and we'll get straight into it. Welcome back. So first thing to take us through really is our position in the league, which is 7th. So we're just 2 points ahead of Everton, who are in 8th. So we're in the last of the European qualification spaces at the minute. We do have a game in hand which can possibly get us up to 6th. And as you can see on the form chart, we're actually doing a little bit better than some of the teams just above us. So we might well be able to rein them in and try and chase a Champions League spot if we have a good transfer window and we improve the squad for the next part of the season. In terms of the schedule, since you were last with us, I think we were with you for Chelsea and Viking. We got a home win against Brighton, an away win against Leicester, so good points in the league. Codriano getting goals in both them games. The Europa Conference League has been pretty straightforward. We beat Apoel 4-0. In between, we had 3 Premier League games. We got a 2-1 win at home to Wolves. Brentford and Everton both picked up a 0-0 draw and a 2-2 draw, so dropped some points there really, I think. We absolutely thumped Aberdeen in the Conference League. We then thumped Everton in the quarterfinal of the Carabao Cup, starting off with an own goal, Codriano getting 2 and then Diouf getting 1 as well. The last game of the Conference League against OH Leuven, it was 0-0, but I mean we just gave some young players a bit of a run out. Didn't really take it too seriously because we'd already qualified, and that maybe led us into dropping a bit of form as we hit Aston Villa, and we got a 1-0 loss at home to them. We then recovered and beat Man United 1-0, Walter Medina getting a goal. A creditable 2-2 draw with Tottenham, again picking up a valuable point before we went on 2-game in London winning streak, which for Millwall is fantastic. So we beat Fulham first 2-1, Vinwazer and Mercier getting some goals, and then we thumped West Ham 3-0, Diouf getting 2 and Somolani getting 1. We progressed in the FA Cup third round against Nottingham Forest 2-0, and then just before today's game we had a 0-0 draw with Sheffield United where I think we were the better side. We should have really won it, but we didn't manage to score a goal, which leads us into the Carabao Cup semi-final first leg against Liverpool. Outside of the fixtures and the league position of where we are, we can have a quick look at the competitions. In terms of the UEFA Conference League, we finished second at the top of the table, which gives us a kind of a good draw into the next round. So we don't play with all the blue teams in that part of the table. We go through to the round after, which is good. It's less games we have to play. We're still in the FA Cup. We've got an away tie at Fulham. As I say, we're still in the Carabao Cup, and we're still relatively competitive in the Premier League. Transfer-wise and dynamics-wise, that's where we've got to unpack things a little bit more. We've started to get a huge number of transfers of some of our players. So Vinwazer's had a few offers come in. Kevin Zeffy's obviously out on loan. Somolani's had offers. Heiko Brammel's had some offers to go out, and Kravtsov and Caleb Anson as well. And Caleb Anson's the interesting one because he's English homegrown, but his potential is only 3-star. So if someone's going to offer us 42 million for him, even though he's UK homegrown, I think we might cash in on him, which will lead us to the transfers in kind of thing, where we're planning on each player we sell, we buy a ready-made replacement, hopefully some sort of wonder kid. So we've let Marcio Maia go, who was a Brazilian right winger. I'll just bring his stats up so you can see him. So, I mean, he was a really good player, but he didn't have a huge amount of potential, which is what the new model we're looking to try and build as well. So we cashed in on him. We got quite a bit of money for him, so I think 10 million. He was unhappy because he wasn't playing. He was behind Vinwazer and potentially Somolani on the right-hand side, so he was unhappy and went. Kenji Mori, the goalkeeper that we had, his youth prospect. I mean, he was Japanese. Unfortunately, he wouldn't get a work permit when we went to renew his contract. So ultimately, we just cashed in and sold him. So we didn't get big money for him, but we did get 1.6 million. And then Serdar Saci, who was the Turkish centre-back, he was unhappy that he wasn't a first teamer for us. We were rotating. He wasn't getting the game time he wanted. So we just said, well, fine, yeah, we'll cash in on you. Fenerbahce offered 25.5 million up front. Increasing up to 32 million, so we just let him go. Again, he didn't have a huge amount of growth in him. We picked him up on a free transfer, so to get 25 million is absolutely massive for us. That leads into some of the transfers in then. So we first went for Emmanuel Diallo from Celtic. I did try and buy him previously. He's 5-star potential and he's English, so that was a bit of a no-brainer for me. And he can also come in as a rotational option. So we've still got Olander and some of our other centre-halves who play in front of him, which will give him the ability to develop to his potential and become a first teamer as an English homegrown in the future. So not only is he 5-star potential, but he's also English, which was a massive win for us. After that, we got Ollie Johnson. He picked up 4.2 million. He just came up in the scouting, and he was another 5-star potential player, Swedish defensive midfielder. So as we're getting bids for Heiko Brammel, again, Brammel doesn't have the growth potential that Johnson does. So let's sell Brammel, bring in Johnson, and it's a win-win all around, and we'll still have money to spare. So again, he's come in that defensive midfield role. He's going to take over as the first team option very, very shortly if we get Brammel to sign a contract and go. And as you can see, stats-wise, he's already better as well. So another really good transfer. And probably the one most exciting is Alberto Romero from Boca Juniors, 9.25 million. He comes in as a wonder kid goalkeeper, Argentinian. Again, 4.5-star potential. So he's got more growth potential than Caleb Hansen in goals. So we can let him go. We'll let Romero take over. And then within the squad, we've still got Christopher Braun, who's another 4-star potential goalkeeper to play as a reserve. So with them transfers taking place, I think we've actually strengthened the squad and made a lot of money as well. So the other question marks regarding the transfers is you may be spotted. We've got 2 that are just waiting on work permits. So we've got Joel Brandon coming from Vélez, an attacking midfielder. Again, he's a young Argentinian high potential player. So we want to get him in. We've agreed to loan him straight back to the club he came from. Might be a little bit of a mistake on my part because he was young enough. We could have got him UK homegrown, but never mind. And Alvaro Alfaro from Colo Colo, another advanced playmaker. Again, really good stats, Chilean, and we've agreed to loan him back. So really good high potential signings for the future. Again, we'll sign them quite cheap, we'll develop them, and then we'll probably kick them out for a profit because we don't really play an attacking midfielder. So unless there's a formation change, that's what we'll go with. And then Brian Vinuesa, we've had a couple offers for him. 45 rising to 65 million from Leicester, and then 30 million rising 44 from Man United. So if they push that price much higher, I think the board will take it out of my hands and they'll just sell him. And then we'll have to look for a right winger as well. But in terms of them transfers coming in, they've made us much stronger. The only other thing we just have to worry about is that trained in nation, which again I am working on in the background, but we want as many high potential players as we can in that first team squad so that we're constantly growing as a club and we can get better and better, which judging by the league positions in the cup, we're doing better. I think we're getting closer to achieving our goals in the Unemployed to Unstoppable. We just need to get that Premier League title, which is beyond us, I think, this season. Where we are. Man City, they've won 20. They've only drawn 1 and lost 1. So they're absolutely thumping everybody at the minute. So that's a little bit for us to catch up to. But again, if we can keep getting into Europe, keep generating money and keep signing wonder kids, we're making progress. So all that being said, I'll get us through to the Carabao Cup semi-final, and we can see if we can maybe get ourselves to our first significant final and get our grubby little mitts on a trophy. So stay tuned and we'll see who we're going to field for the first leg. Welcome back. So starting lineup for today, we've got Romero coming in goals in place of Hansen. We've got back 4 of Mercier, Calderon, Aliou and Shahar. Midfield 3 of Johnson, Hansen, Aaron and Diouf. And then we've got the English Johnson on the left, Vinuesa on the right and Codriano up front. In terms of our highest goal scorers, I think Medina's still just slightly higher, but he's had a huge amount of games recently. So we'll go Codriano up front. Vinuesa can continue to score from the right hand side, and Andy Johnson's starting to chip in with a few now. So that should be the best chance we've got at kind of getting a positive result in this match. What are we looking for in the first match? I mean, in terms of the away leg, just staying in the tie, I suppose. I think Liverpool are expected to win this game. However, if we can get in there and just upset the apple cart, maybe nick away with a draw or even a narrow defeat wouldn't be the end of the world. If we can get them back to Millwall with the tie still within touching distance, then maybe we can make a push for the final, and that would be the most significant thing we've done on the save so far. So Romero making an early save. I'm unsure of Romero at the minute. We've thrown him in at the deep end because ultimately if we're going to let Anson go, then what's the point persisting with him in goals? We just need to get another offer for him and let him go, and then give Romero the game time to enable him to reach the 4.5 star potential he's got. So it's important we get him as many games as we can. That might bring in some defeats or some mistakes because he's still young, but that's part and parcel of developing a wonder kid, unfortunately. As Liverpool are just playing the ball around at the back at the minute with Weatherby through to Rodgers, who we did once have on loan at Millwall in the middle of the park. We weren't able to keep him because of the high transfer fee, but Mohamed gets the first goal. Referees considering whether it was maybe offside, hoping they disallow it, but it's been awarded. Morgan down the left hand side plays it into Rodgers, who we're familiar with, into Vitor. I mean, that was a shot that Mohamed just picked out the air with his left foot, which was pretty special really when you consider it. We won't watch it again, but we find ourselves a goal down and we need to grow our way into this game now. Do we go positive early? I mean, we're on the back foot. We're 2 goals down, so yeah, let's see if we can put them on the back foot as we find ourselves 2-0 down early on. And this is not what I was wanting. Not for the first leg. I was hoping to keep it tight, keep it narrow. We were playing a balanced approach to try and not commit too many players forward. But Liverpool have come out with the traps, absolutely demolished us in the first half. We can't even get close to them as it kind of stands. Another corner comes in, and they've picked up a third. He's blown his whistle. I can't see him disallowing it. Let's see what they come with this. Goals awarded, so we're 3-0 down. I was going to consider showing the second leg of this. It looks like there might not be too much points, so what we might do is just play a Premier League game after this. That has been absolutely terrible. And we've been doing really well up until then. We've had some really good results. We beat Man United, was really good. But I mean, 3-0 down at Liverpool. I think we've even beat them earlier on in the season. Vinweiser with a corner. Can we get at least a goal to get back into this tie? Shahar down the right to Aliou. He's got to find someone in a Millwall shirt. Hansen Aaron gets it into Codriano, and he makes it 3-1. We do have a good 35 minutes or so to play, so it's not beyond the realms of possibility we could get a second. Good work down the right from Aliou, playing from centre back. Hansen Aaron picks it up, plays it across near post to Codriano, and he's left with a tap in to continue his good recent goal scoring form. So we need him to get another one. Diouf not having the greatest of games. We could replace him, but he's a goal threat, so it might be worth just seeing how this game pans out a little bit. Vinweiser and his crew winning the ball down the right hand side. Aliou to Calderon will play it down the left this time. Johnson, can he find a bit of magic? And it goes. Vinweiser gets one now. We're back to 3-2, and we've still got a bit of time on our hands. Still got a good half an hour to play. Good work with Mercier down the left to Johnson. All he has to do is beat his man and deliver it into the box. Through it goes, through a cluster of players. Keeper initially taps it out, but it falls to Vinweiser, and he makes it 3-2. And Millwall have hope in the tie again. See, I don't want to take Diouf off yet because everyone's picking up a little bit of form. Who was that? Mercier for Kravtsov. We will make that change. Don't want to put Medina in it right back for Shahar because I think that would be a massive mistake. We will take Diouf off because he's not having a particularly good game. Topologlu can come on just for the last 15 minutes. Johnson for Divine because he's tired. Divine not really much of a winger, but again we'll just put him on there, try and keep fresh legs. We don't want Liverpool to get another one if we can help it. Good hands, Romero. 8 minutes to go. We're kind of back in the tie. The tie's alive again now. We were dead and buried at 3-0 down. We've got 5 minutes of injury time to get through. And if we can keep it at 3-2 as we go back to the den, we're in with a shout. So a good comeback. Not all the way back to 3-3, but I mean 2 goals well against the run of play. You can see on the stats they had 20 shots to our 6. Their XG was far more dominant than ours, but we've got 2 goals to keep the tie alive. And hopefully in the future we can address that balance and get ourselves to a final, which would be magnificent for Millwall. But let's just press on and we'll get to a Premier League game. and see if we can get another 3 points on the board to get us closer to the Champions League places. So stay tuned. I'll click through. I'll get ready for the next match. And a brief update just before we get to the next game is them transfers for the young players we got from abroad. So Alvaro and Rahmani, they've both been cancelled because we can't sign any more than 6 foreign under 21 players in a season. So it's probably a good job we signed the goalkeeper first, because that could have left us in a very sticky situation. And the other bits just to keep you up to date with in terms of the transfers out is Heiko Brammel has gone to Al Tawoun for 18 million, rising to 21.5, and also Kevin Zeffi has agreed a future transfer to, if I can find it, Al Riyadh. So he's going on a free transfer when his contract's over. So that's 2 more players going out to release some wage budget, which leaves us currently with 20 million and £194,000 per week. So again, we'll just wait till that kind of under 21 threshold limit, I've never heard of that before, goes round, and we'll look at getting some more youngsters or some really good English talent next time a transfer window opens. So I'll carry on. I'll get through to the next game, and in fact we're here. So tactical meeting. Let's just get through to the game. And Hansen Aaron's a little bit tired. So Topologlu can come on. Juve can probably have a break, and we'll give Vancherov a little bit of a run out, and the rest of them will largely keep the same. Maybe Medina for Codriano because he's a bit tired. Johnson's not really got anyone on the left hand side, although we could put Hansen Aaron out there to start with, and then Shah's our only option at right back really at the minute. We are bringing Simon Payne through, but I don't think he's ready to start a Premier League game. So that's starting out. Romero in goals. We've got back 4 of Mercier, Calderon, Aliou and Shahar. Johnson, Vancherov and Topologlu in the middle of the park, with Hansen Aaron, Vinwazer and Medina up front. That should be enough for us to see off Bournemouth, who are bottom of the league. But we are away, and again, no game is easy in the Premier League, as they always say. But this is certainly somewhere we'd be looking to pick up the 3 points. So we'll get in there and see what we can do from the start. So Aliou with the ball early on, playing down the right hand side. Shah Vancherov's in, and he hits the post. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed on Football Manager, but there seems to be a huge amount of chances just seem to hit the post now. I've seen a massive increase in woodwork shots. We will go a little bit more positive, because I really want to pick up 3 points against Bournemouth. We had that mixed emotion of a game against Liverpool where we managed to come back, but really I want us to pick up 3 points against Bournemouth so we can keep pushing towards potentially getting ourselves into the Champions League at some point with Millwall. If not this season, then certainly next season. But we're really not playing particularly progressive enough at the minute. I don't know why early crosses is on. Shahar for Kravtsov, so Kravtsov's going to play on the right, which isn't his familiar. And I feel a bit for Kravtsov because he came in as a kind of first choice left back. Mercier came in and ousted him, took over as the number 1, and he's just kind of playing little bits all over the place at the minute. There's a real goalmouth scramble there, and somehow Ryan Gravenberch, who surprisingly is playing at Bournemouth, managed to scramble the ball into his own net. So it came into Mercier, he flicked it through, it comes off a whole load of players, and then bizarrely he just taps it back into his own empty net. But we'll take it. If that gives us the lead, it gives us the lead. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't exciting, but it gives us a goal. So Vinwazer picking it up there. There's a loose pass, which gives Bournemouth an opportunity just before half time to get back into the game. Thankfully it goes over the bar, and we go in 1-0 up at the break. Maybe just edging the game slightly, but we can do better. I want to give a few of the players a bit of a rest. We've had a huge number of games. Well, Johnson coming off, Hansen Aaron's fine because they were both limited in terms of their fitness, but Johnson's the more natural player out there as a winger. And we'll just, if we can get a second goal, Johnson flings one in, Topologlu gets a chance to recycle it. Aliou, another couple of players. We had 3 players challenging the keeper there, which is good to see. But unfortunately we couldn't get over the line. However, we do get to go again. Wazer's not having the greatest of games on the right hand side, and I'm not sure if he is going to be our long-term right winger, or if we might need to push him a bit more centrally. He's a good player, but he doesn't have the potential of Codriano and Medina, which is my conundrum. As Alvarez gets a goal back for Bournemouth, and let me just see what we can do. What if we take Codriano on for Medina and Vinweza for Somolani? Got half an hour to try and get something from this game. Johnson playing his first few touches from the back, and I'm hoping he develops quite quickly to become that defensive midfielder. We use him as a bit of a deep line playmaker / anchor man, depending who we're playing. Johnson down the left now. In it goes. Looked like someone could have just got a toe end on it there and got us back in front, but unfortunately no one could just stretch their limbs. 25 minutes to go, and I mean, missed opportunities. This is like watching Everton in real life, actually. Is missed opportunities. If anyone saw the football yesterday, 1-0 up at Brighton into injury time, and we managed to turn that into a draw. He looked well offside there. Yeah, he was offside. A little bit of encouragement. I can't. Don't think it's gonna let me take Vancharov off. No. He would have been the next change I would have made, just to try and change something in the middle of the park as we go into the final 5 minutes. So we're just gonna have to let it develop. Johnson with a corner. Calderon with a header, but unfortunately not enough power to beat the keeper, and it looks like we're going to nick away with a draw here, which isn't a terrible result, but it doesn't make us gain ground on those clubs in the Champions League positions. Just want to do nothing silly. Oh, Calderon's giving the ball away. Joe breaks down the right hand side, and it goes. Oh. And it's them little mistakes, and you get them with some of the younger players, that nearly cost us what would have been a valuable point. As we're into injury time and bottom of the league, we sneak a 1-1 draw. They probably had the better chances towards the end of the game, but we'll have to take it. I don't want to say it was unlucky, we just weren't good enough. We should have won that game. Really, really not impressed with that. We're still in that 7th spot. We're still 2 points ahead of Fulham, and we've still got a game in hand. But we've got to stop slipping up against these teams, because that says 9 points behind. We do have a game in hand on Chelsea, but if that gap gets too much bigger, and we've only got 16 games to go, we won't be able to catch up the ground. So hopefully you've enjoyed the episode. Hopefully you like the new signings that have come in. I certainly think Romero replacing Anson is going to be a good change going forward. Goalkeeper was an area we were quite weak at. A new defensive midfielder. We just need to find a way of just getting a little bit of form. Our goal difference has dropped off a touch. We just need to catch up a little bit, and we'll hopefully overcome Liverpool in the second leg and bring you back for a cup final in the next episode, if we're lucky. So everyone keep your fingers crossed, and until next time, enjoy your weekend, take care, and I'll see you soon.